Joe just read one of my poems better than I've read any of my poems. I don't know what to do now. What's that? And I start with one of Joe's poems, as I understand. So I picked, what are you? No. I start with...
You should be ending with one from Lisa's, right?
I have one of Lisa's, but...
if you want to, you want to do Joe's, that's fine.
Yeah, I got Joe.
I
don't want to do one of yours.
do 2 of yours.
All right. Okay. So this, I'm doing new ones, and so this poem started out as a poem. No, I mean, it started out as a flash, because I write flash fiction mostly these days. And then I turned it into a poem, and then I turned it back into a flash and published it, and then a little bit more came in, and I rewrote it as a poem again. So, it's called Kenny. She always referred to him as Kenny Rogers. I fell for him over campaign dinners at Republican headquarters. Always chicken, she said, always stringy. She stayed out later and later, explaining politics when she came home, smelling of wine, cigarette smoke, and men's cologne. She was the campaign manager, she told us, shoving hot dogs sliced wide open under the broiler, peering through the oven door to watch the cheese melt. Dad's car not yet crunching down the drive, the helium and the red, white, and blue balloons already seeping out above the crepe-papered tables, her empty chair waiting. She freshened her lipstick compulsively when she talked about him, his silver beard, his open shirt, the gold chain across the hair on his chest, just like a Bee Gee, she said, smack, pressing her lips to a square snatched from the bathroom roll. She left tissue kisses by the phone on the nightstand, the passenger seat of the red Dodge Dart she drove into Portage Lakes, failing to yield at Cormany, leaving me to clean up her affections. Perfect coral lip prints, the tissues not wadded or folded, but creased gently in the middle, then smoothed flat. And this is Northeastern, so this is the famous poet, probably not famous enough, but big effect on me, Bruce Weigel from Northeastern Ohio. And the poem is called What Saves Us. We are wrapped around each other in the back of my father's car, parked in the empty lot of the high school of our failures. The sweat on her neck like oil. The next morning, I would leave for the war, and I thought I had something coming for that. I thought to myself that I would not die never having been inside her long body. I pulled her skirt above her waist like an umbrella, blown inside out by the storm. I pulled her cotton panties up as high as she could stand. I was on fire. Heaven was in sight. We were drowning in our tongues, and I tried to tear my pants off when she stopped so suddenly. We were surrounded only by my shuddering and by the school bells grinding in the empty halls. She reached to find something, a silver crucifix on a silver chain, the tiny Savior's head hanging, and stakes through his hands and his feet. She put it around my neck and held me so long the black wings of my heart were calmed. We are not always right about what we think will save us. I thought that dragging the angel down would save me, but instead I carried the crucifix in my pocket and rubbed it on my face and lips nights the rockets roared in. People die sometimes so near to you, you feel them struggling to cross over, the deep untangling of one body from another. And this is another of mine, and it is brand new, so I apologize for any problems. It's inspired by a book which probably isn't here, a memoir called The Last Time I Wore a Dress, and I gave up dresses many years ago. But it had me thinking about the last dress. So the last dress. The last dress was black, silk, sleeveless. It had no pockets, no pattern or texture, no frills. It may have had a name or type, A-line, sundress, column, or mermaid. All I know for certain is it wasn't a ball gown. It held me close and tight. The occasion met all of my dwindling requirements, wedding or funeral, over 70 degrees, non-anonymous, my attendance obligatory, extended for a relation or true friend. I wore a strand of pearls, dangly earrings, stockings, and a slip. My shoes had no heels. I don't know if that made them flats. Someone took a picture in which I am half a handsome couple, uncertain what to do with my hands. It was the most harmless of my dresses. It could have been halved, hemmed to a sleeveless shirt, something I could wear every day without feeling I was betraying myself. I held on to it after the initial purge, which was fueled by ambivalence and practicality. I left it hanging just in case, while I dragged green plastic garbage bags, trailing nylons, bursting with hangers to the curb. When my apartment was burgled, all my jewelry, understated as it was stolen. I stopped wearing anymore. I felt more and more like all adornment was drag, the draft under a dress, a threat of opportunity I couldn't risk. In my closet, the silk held dust like a skein, dry clean only. I couldn't brush it off or wash it out. I was just beginning to recognize who I really am, to bristle under the preposterous necessity of crossing my legs simply because I belong to that portion of the population who should. There were fewer weddings and funerals that fit my criteria. My attendance or lack became easily overlooked. I no longer sported accessories, was unable to work posts through my piercings despite the application of alcohol or the angle of approach. I stopped wearing the dress because I had nothing to wear with it, no shoes, no earrings, because I had nowhere to go in which I had any reason to be someone other than myself. And then I chose one by Lisa Olstein. And actually, it was so difficult that I chose two, but I'm going to go with The Hypnotist's Daughter. At the London Zoo, a toddler falls over the rail of the primate world, only if you close your eyes. And a female gorilla comes to sit by, to circle her long, dark arm around him, only this one time, while the others stay away. The zookeeper says she lost a baby earlier this year, only just barely. And they've been waiting months for her tits to dry. The boy's mother watches from above, only when I say so. The 30 minutes it takes the right person to lower the right ladder down, only as a last resort. In the interim, a newscaster whose stations carries it live, only if you promise not to let go, reports that dolphins and sometimes certain whales rescue people stranded at sea, only when I close my eyes, lift them to the air when they need breathing or swim them close enough to land. In the interim, I imagine the span of time from when the smooth, hard snout finds me and begins to push, only if you promise not to tell, to when we came into view of a shore, only this once, any shore, In the interim, I pray for what should come to come. I pray for the cat to come out from under the floorboards only every once in a while, to come down from the tall maple, to come back alive only if you say so, in one piece, still in her collar. I pray to be saved, to be sent far away, to be allowed to just stay home only another month or two. Just stay home and erase the objects in each room, with my mind while holding them in my hands, only a matter of time since up now. I do want to hold them in my hands, to hold them to my lungs by way of deep breath only since July, and a deeper sense of inhalation. I pray for you only just this once, to press out from the small veins at the back of my eyes, only you, back out into the world. I pray for you to come and sit by me only a few more minutes now. That's Lisa.